Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's stream. A very special one, as it is Friday the 13th, and we're going to just talk a load of crap. So enjoy the show.
Welcome to The Other Dimension with the team Damon Penny, Ben Winfield, and Louisa Brown. We guide you through the supernatural, the occult, and the unexplained, answering questions that will make you question your grip of reality, with special guests guiding you through everything from demons to divination, cryptids to crystals, religion to skeptics. We explore in depth the true meaning of the unexplained. So strap in, kick back, and enjoy as we enter the other dimension.
Hello, everybody, and welcome along to The Other Dimension. It's your Friday Night Paranormal Fix. I'm your host, the God of War, along with the paranormal power couple, Ben and Lou. Go wild. And it's Friday the 13th.
Yep.
And you know what? In all seriousness, it's probably been the most unluckiest day for me ever. And I'm not one to believe in Friday the 13th at all.
No, to be fair, like I've always said about Friday the 13th, because it always makes me laugh. People don't actually know the true meaning of Friday the 13th. So they all get panicky about it. It's quite funny.
Yeah, I mean, there's loads of stories around it. We'll get to them anyway. We'll talk a bit about Friday the 13th. I want to talk about the investigation that we went on, because I weren't on last week because I had some personal issues I had to take care of. So, yeah, so we're going to talk about that. But first, big shout out to Ver Left. She's been looking forward to this one. Out to Annette and out to Natasha locked in. So a bit of housekeeping, guys. Don't forget the Other Dimension merchandise is now live on the Pentagraphics. The link is on our Facebook page.
Yep.
So head over there, grab them. Winter's coming. They've got a wicked selection of hoodies, and I think they're thermal lined as well. So they're definitely worth picking up.
They are very warm, very warm.
So head over there, grab them, support the show, show us some love, and keep us going. Keep us going. So yeah, Friday the 13th. Now, see, from my perspective, it's probably different from your perspective, because without people knowing,
it's the right moment they always do to have a scrap.
From my perspective, the Vikings have their own sort of way of looking at Friday the 13th, because you've got the whole feast where Loki turned up as the 13th member and then killed one of them and all that sort of thing. But it's also meant to be related to like the Templars and stuff like that, isn't it?
The historical reference behind Friday the 13th is to do with the Templars. It is when the French king and the Pope decided to put an end to the Templar order, which they failed, because if you have to look at the Templar order history, it's a brilliant story. The saying was that, and this is where I'm going to shoot myself because people are going to laugh, is that anyone that was wearing a red cross at the time was put to execution. So Friday the 13th is when they wiped out them all and mass executions.
Oh, okay.
It's considered bad luck to wear red on them days.
Red?
So me sat here in a red shirt. It meant that death was going to come for you.
Oh, right, okay. I'm so glad I'm in blue.
Yeah, this is where the whole thing started, in a sense, of Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
There is a Sumerian thing as well.
Yeah, there is a Sumerian, isn't there?
Yeah.
It goes back miles and miles.
We've got a thing that 12 was considered the perfect number, and the first number after that was the opposite of the perfect number.
Yeah, it was also like, if you look at Gematria as well, 13th is the number of imposing doom as well. So it plays a lot in everything. When you look at everything, the number 13 does play. Didn't Crowley have something to do with the number 13?
I'm not entirely sure. A lot of my memory on Crowley stuff's been forgotten because I've been looking at more important things over the years.
But we live at number 13.
Yeah, we live at number 13, but I still have a challenge. I still have a challenge for people, if anyone remembered last year. And this always goes out every year, I always say this. Go to a hotel
Yeah.
and find me a room 13.
I don't. When we stayed at Bristol, we didn't have room 13, did we? Huh. That's
Room
weird.
13s do not exist in hotels.
Huh? Oh, no, neither does floor 13 either.
Yeah,
Actually, saying that, right? Because I grew up in a tower block. It had 20 floors, but there was never a floor 13. It used to go 12, 14, 15, 16,
Yeah.
17. So I lived on the 11th floor.
a lot of people will refuse, especially hotels and that lot, will refuse to have a room 13. It's one of the weirdest things I've ever noticed.
It is strange, isn't it? It is really strange. When you look at superstitions and stuff like that, like a black cat crossing your path, that has like superstitions in the whole Salem thing and witchcraft, doesn't it?
That's because if a black cat walks across your path, you would consider it a witch and you'll put for execution.
That was it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was dunked.
The one that always makes me laugh is the superstition of walking under a ladder is considered bad luck.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not.
something
It's
false.
freaking common sense. Coming from a builder's perspective, we drop stuff all the frigging time.
You are so clumsy.
Is it? Yeah. Well, yeah. That does make perfect sense.
Yeah.
It's weird how superstitions like I don't know if they have it for our American listeners that locked in or listen back. I don't know if you have this in America, but magpies. That's always been a big thing for me. Magpies.
That's with everyone.
Yeah, I'll see one magpie and I'll salute it. But if I see two, I don't salute it because it doesn't count as an accident. It's good luck in it. One for sorrow, two for joy, and all that sort of thing.
So 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, 3 for a girl, 4 for a boy.
5 for silver, 6 for gold, 7 for a secret. It's never been told.
Yeah.
The longer version has got a wish and a kiss in there somewhere. I don't know. So yeah, superstitions are weird though, because they have some sort of place in back in history, didn't they? Like like obviously, I don't know. I don't think it's true. I've looked it up, but supposedly when you sneeze and they say bless you, it's to stop your soul escaping your body.
Yeah. It said that when you sneeze, that the devil would come in and grab your soul as it leave your nose. So same bless you was same thing. Same as throwing salt over your right shoulder. Said to knock the devil off your shoulder.
Is it left or right? I think it's yeah. Oh no, I don't know. I've never done it. I spill
I
salt.
can't remember if it's left. I can't remember if it's left or right.
I normally just pick it up, put it back on the plate. Waste not, want not. Yeah, it's weird. Friday 13 always plays. I mean, the first thing when I
She's here
saw
with
it.
a book. She's here with a book.
Oh, were these superstitions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
A pocket guide to superstitions of the British Isles.
oh, this is cool. This is I don't think we've ever done a show like this where we've actually gone through superstitions.
All right, Damon, say stop and I'll read one out.
Stop. What should we do on one where if you tread on the cracks?
Say stop and I'll read one out.
Go on, stop.
Okay, that one. This one's burning salt.
Burning.
Right, left shoulder. Seriously.
Salt was deliberately burnt in a.
Buster. Can you just squeeze the ball?
Oh, bless him. Salt was deliberately burnt in a variety of contexts, usually concerned with casting spells or protecting against ill wishing about others. The power of a witch is supposed to be destroyed by sprinkling salt into a fire 9 mornings in succession. The person who sprinkles the salt must be the one affected by the supposed witchcraft, and as the salt drops down, must repeat, "Salt, salt, I put thee into the fire, and may the person who has bewitched me neither eat, drink, or sleep until the spell is broken."
Ooh.
A handful of 19th century informants indicated a custom of sprinkling salt, which was later burned on the doorstep after an unwelcome visitor had left, to ensure that they did not come in again, and salt was also sprinkled on a tooth before it was thrown onto the fire. In a few reports, salt was cast on the fire after an ill-omened action had been carried out to counteract the bad luck. Burning salt does not appear in the literature before the 1830s, although salt as a generally protective against witchcraft is demonstrably older.
That goes the whole thing back when they used to when two people used to get married, when they used to consummate the marriage, used to put a salt circle around the bed, didn't they?
That was to stop evil spirits from entering the body when they're
Making the marriage.
the virgins. Yeah.
Big shouts out to Verlef. She's actually put the whole poem up, so I'm going to read it out. I don't know if it's so. It's 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, 3 for girl, 4 for boy, 5 for silver, 6 for gold, 7 for secret then be told, 8 for a wish, 9 for a kiss. Told you wish and kiss were in there. 10 for a bird you must not miss. 11 for health, 12 for wealth, 13 beware it's the devil himself. 14 make your choice, 15 take your pick, 16 the sweetest, 17 your heart's wish, 18 for a letter, 19 for better, 20 for the future. It's now or never.
I want to know who's seen 20 magpies together.
I've never seen 20. I've seen 12. What's 12?
What's the...
Wealth. That ain't bloody come true, is it?
Sorry, we got a photo bomber.
He wants his ball.
He's not having his
I never
principal.
have his ball.
I've never seen more than like on a regular case more than like 3 or 4 or 5, but I've never seen like 20 magpies.
What's that?
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's weird how we
Oh,
take.
okay. Just open it on Friday the 13th.
Oh, nice. I just found the page for Friday the 13th.
Just open it. Buster! Oh my gosh, puppy.
Good. Let's hear the story of Friday the 13th.
Okay, hang on. Bear with me because I might go a little bit croaky.
Up and down stories with Lou.
What's the story, Jack?
We can deal with that. Okay, so can you just move back up the light? The belief that Friday the 13th, you've given me the ball back. Take the ball. The belief that Friday the 13th is an especially unlucky day is one of the widest known superstitions in Britain today and is erroneously assumed to be. Ow, Buster! Down there. He knocked my jaw and everything. Is erroneously assumed to be of great antiquity. The notion that 13 is generally unlucky number has not been found earlier than 1852, and although Fridays have been regarded as unlucky since medieval times, it is quite certain that the fear of Friday the 13th is a Victorian invention. Indeed, the first definite reference to Friday the 13th we have is from 1913. I have met a coach of fine mental capacities which have been carefully cultivated, who dreaded the evil look of Friday the 13th. But what may be a point in the development of Friday the 13th is provided in a piece from Notes and Queries in 1873. 13 at dinner, I apprehend, bear with guys because it's going to be a bit, I apprehend that there is no doubt that this notion has reference to the Last Supper, at which 13 were present. Some, I believe, have carried it to the extent of disliking that number at all times, but the commoner form limits it to Friday. Not that there is any ground of fact in this, for the Last Supper was on the 5th, not the 6th day of the week. Sailors are held somewhat superstitious, as I know an eminent naval officer who, though I do not know that he acted out earlier in his life, actually would walk out of the room when the conjunction happened on a Friday, after the death of his wife and daughter, both of which events were preceded by said conjunction. It is not quite clear what particular conjunction this writer means, but it seems to be the 13th table of Friday rather than the date. It does show, however, that Fridays and 13th were beginning to be connected in the 1870s. It then goes on with more and more, but I think because when we're talking about like this time period, it was all kind of like so very Christianized and yeah.
Well, that's only British as well.
Yeah, this is just
So-
the
so-
British
Yeah,
side.
like
stuff.
say in France, I know in France it is, and I'm not so much with Switzerland because that's where the Templars ended up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know in France Friday the 13th is linked to not wearing red because of the Templars.
It's crazy how superstitions carry out through history, don't they? They start off as something small, and we sort of like got to a point now where we blow them up.
Yeah.
Like in the sense of Friday the 13th, you know, the whole pinch punch first day of the month is another one. You know, I look back to that mantra, like the fact that we associate powered numbers. You know, I don't know if you've been looking up. I've been reading up about life paths. You have like a different numbered life path.
No, I've been. I'll let you guys in my secret on a theory I've been working on. David might like this. So we all know about Waylines, the energy of waylines.
Yeah.
So me and a friend have come up with a theory that we're trying to test. I don't know why no one's ever come across this before, but in modern society, we've come to this conclusion that we think waylines may have changed and that motorways might now be acting like waylines in the country.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that. You mean you talk about obviously motorways? You've got cars going down there. You're talking about solid metal objects that are creating magnetized energy anyway, kinetic energy,
Yeah.
and so on and so forth.
Yeah, but you think how many people travel up a motorway,
Oh,
and
yeah, loads.
it requires for energy to be stored in like Stoke Tapes area. It requires silicon. Silicon can hold the energy. Now most tar in that lot has a silicon base.
Yeah, a lot of them do. Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought I'd randomly drop that in for you guys. So I'll let you know when that comes out.
It definitely makes sense. I mean, it makes more sense because I mean, I was talking about this to someone before about how a lot of the paranormal theories and ideas we have now are so steeped in history. We haven't really took them to a modern sort of level, and that theory of the way lines takes the old theory of obviously way lines and ley lines and so on and so forth and energy traveling and puts it in a modern day and age, because a lot of the stuff where we talk about the consumption of energy and energy being traveled and our subconscious and that, what we have modern days now has affected that. For instance, social media, TV, films, just our minds are like constantly on all the time and constantly thinking. So it's going to affect the way our energy spikes anyway.
Yeah.
And you can even look at that in a theory of sense of if if our minds are more expanded in the sense of we're able to accept the paranormal more because we're able to access our subconscious more through our reliving of these movies and so on and so forth, like our subconscious part of the brain. So we're going to be more susceptible to paranormal nowadays anyway. So yeah, I mean, it does make sense. We've got electronical devices nowadays that use different sorts of you have uranium and like loads of weird chemicals and substances and elements inside now. That's going to affect the way our bodies are completely. I mean, the best theory I ever heard, I spoke to somebody who was talking about headphones. And I was just like, right, okay. He was like, they're really bad for you. I was like, right, obviously the sound, no, wait. And I was like, obviously, if you're having too loud, it's going to cause sound. He was like, no, no. He said, think about it. You're directly shooting sound waves, and what is in between either side of the headphone is your brain. So you're directly shooting electromagnetic sound waves into your brain. So it's going to affect the way you think. It's going to affect you that way. It's the same with 5G and Wi-Fi as well. That's supposed to.
I suppose they did worry about that with phone technology when it first started, but they did actually do scientific tests on it all and found out it doesn't actually emit any more radiation than background radiation.
Yeah, I get the whole radiation thing, but it's actual the energy we produce as people. I'm not so much saying that it's going to produce more energy. It's just in the modern day and age, are we going to produce different energy?
Yeah.
We're affected by so many sorts of modern miracles, i.e., phones and Alexas and PlayStations, and even down to like the fact that you can go anywhere now and you can track people and stuff like that. All these sort of things are going to emit some sort of electrical wave that's going to not so much enhance our energies within ourselves, but change the way they are. Because when energies are all in different patterns, different wave patterns. So if we was to maybe look at the energy for a wave pattern back in the Victorian times to now, I reckon that'd be completely different.
Yeah, we basically live in for those of you that live in cities, which I feel really bad for, you basically live in a soup of radio waves and everything else.
100%. 100%. I mean, there was the study into when World War II happened and they put across the coastal thing the radar. And they've done studies into that. And they were saying that was actually making people that live close to the radar towers actually making them feel sick and making them feel ill and fall ill and get sick quite quick.
Yeah.
Vers has put up a message saying, it's one of those things I found out my ADHD. I can hear and feel the EM fields that computers and stuff emit. I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like reading auras, but you're reading electromagnetic frequencies. So, yeah. The next part, I actually had a magpie knock on my window 3 times before my mum passed away.
Mm.
I've heard that. I've heard that happen quite a lot. People that have had things happen, and then something bad's happened. It's almost like it goes off that theory of the banshee in Ireland, where you hear the banshee scream. It means someone in your family's passed away. Do you know what I mean? So it's all like old superstitions that are just replayed over years and years and years and years and years. But it's funny how we live in a modern day and age, but yet we still live by these old superstitions.
Yeah. It always makes me laugh. Like, it's not so much a superstition, but it shows how people's minds work. Is you can have anyone that is a skeptic,
Hmm.
but you ask them to touch a Ouija board, they won't.
Yeah, it's because
It's
old.
weird.
They're scared of it. That's the thing. They're
Yeah.
scared of the
We've not
Ouija
done it before.
like that. It is. It's very weird. I find it very weird how we can be so modern in our way that we live nowadays, but yet still live by and suppressed by these old superstitions that are out there. I mean, you get people that walk down the road, and if they walk underneath a 2 lampposts that join, they'll spit because they don't want to get bad luck or step on the cracks, fall and break your back. I've actually seen people where they're actually just not treading on the cracks in the pavement. Do you know what I mean? So it is very strange. Very strange. You think in this modern day and age we wouldn't be at the point where we're sort of still listening to these sort of superstitions that are happening.
Oh, I don't know. My grandma, bless her, she was bound by superstition. I mean,
Yeah.
bound by it.
I see it's slightly different generation though. What about, like, you know, a lot of younger people now? Do they listen to it, or if it's not on TikTok, do they not care?
Yeah, but I'm gonna even myself. But I can unravel. I've obviously done the history and all that stuff. Even some of the superstitions told me, even I would have put them to the test.
Yeah, there's a lot of superstitions out there. People don't realise they mock Friday the 13th and stuff like that. They're like, "Oh, Dave Bad." They don't realise it is steeped in some form of truth because most of this stuff that we have nowadays that is embellished is steeped in some form of truth, isn't it?
So the one my grandma swore by was not washing any clothes on New Year's Day because you'd wash a member of your family out.
Really?
Yeah, trust me.
I know it's just washing away good luck.
Yeah, washing away good luck, washing away a member of the family, anything. I I never ever even tested that one out.
When do you do washing, honey?
You either do it the day before or the day after.
No. When do you personally do any washing?
I don't personally do washing, but there's a magic box in the house where you put the washing in.
Oh, you
And
found the magic box, have you?
it magically turns up on the bed folded.
I used to have one of them, and then I moved home, and then I just lost my magic box, and now I have to do it myself. Yeah, no, I mean,
if you leave stuff on the floor, it works as well.
it just turns up, fold up at the end of your bed, clean. It's amazing. No, there's a lot of superstitions out there that do play a part in normal day to day life, and people don't even realise they're going with them as well. Like I'll literally drive down the road, see a magpie, salute. Well, I don't even think about what I'm doing. I don't even think what the people next to me in the car next to me think I'm doing. I just salute.
It's just habit, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's like, what's the other ones that I swear by? Oh, what's the other one? I literally live by it. I don't. I can't remember it now. It's because it's second nature to me now. I just live by it. It's really really strange. It is really really strange. It's like I live by the old black cat crossing the path as well. I see one cross my path and I'm like, God's sake, which is not good because the missus has got like 4 or 5 of them out there. So I have to sort of like watch as I walk in so I don't know no one dies.
I know there is still one that's in the military, but it's rarely spoke of, and that's the three. That's the 3 cigarette light, and I swear by that one still.
What's that one?
Got the 3 cigarette lights. So if there's a load of you having a cigarette,
Yeah.
someone will spark up a lighter, Give it the first person, they'll light the cigarette off that. Second person will light it off. The third person has to get a light from another person, or the lighter has to swap hands.
What's that about? What? I've never ever heard of that one.
That's come from World War One, and it's a
Oh.
superstition that's carried on. I don't know if there's a lot of lads that do it, but I know there was quite a lot of people that still do it. I don't know if it's still carried on. But World War One, the superstition started. Well, it wasn't a superstition at the time. It just carried on after World War One. In the trenches, if you got a lighter out, the first light, a sniper would find the target. Second light, the sniper would eye up, measure, get all his measurements.
Yeah.
The third light, the guard gets shot.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, it does make sense. So I was going along the lines of, like the whole Navy thing, where if they lit something, then the U-boats could tell where they were and stuff like that.
I know this is from World War One. I don't know if it's still carried on, but I know there's a few people in the army still I know that still do this.
Mm.
And that's a superstition that came from a real thing.
One of the big superstitions that no one ever talks about is the wedding superstition. It's something old, something new, something borrowed. That's another superstition. I don't know if they have that in American places like that, but that's a really big thing in England.
Yeah, that's a British thing. You did that, didn't you?
Touch wood.
Yeah, touch wood.
Mm.
But
Yeah, touch that one. Yeah, I know the wedding one because my brother's getting married and he was asking me about it the other day. So
you did it, didn't you?
I did it, yeah.
No, you did it as well.
Once again, it's just something that we don't think about that we just automatically do. I suppose. It's. I think when you look at countries like England or Ireland's majorly superstitious.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, like majorly superstitious. You'll get people that travel across country to go and kiss the Blarney Stone and stuff like that for superstition. And Scotland's quite superstitious as well. But I mean, the older countries, I don't think they have many superstitions in America. They probably do, we just don't know of them.
Yeah, it's not really massively spoke about in America, superstition was.
No, they see it as traditions, don't they? They have traditions rather than superstitions. And I suppose that's obviously growing up, or as the country grows up, America's always been like an innovator, whereas we've always kept our old school paranormal and occult traditions in this country.
Yeah,
it's almost.
America's not that old. It's not even 300 years old yet.
I know, it is crazy when you think about it that way. It's the old superpower and that. And yeah, I mean, but do you remember? I wanted to take you back to your predictions at the beginning of the year. Do you remember your predictions at the beginning of the year? The one about war.
Oh, remind me.
Because at the time, they obviously had the Ukraine thing, and you said there'll be another one. Remember?
I know.
Yeah, and now we've got the Hamas and Israeli-Palestinian war thing.
Yeah, I know. Lots of people have been emailing me going, "You know about this?" I'm like, "Yes, I know about this."
Well, it's something that's been going on for years. I mean, there's always been that battle for Israel and that sort of thing, isn't there?
This is the end of it.
Yeah, I reckon so.
This is the end of it.
You see, war in the modern day and age is so much different to what it was back in the day. Do you know what I mean?
War is war, and it's always the innocent that pay.
Oh yeah, 100%. I agree with that. 100% agree with that. But anyway, on a lighter note, for everyone that caught us the other week, not last week, the week before, we was in Bristol.
After. Was it the week before?
Yeah, it wasn't last week. It was the week before.
Yeah.
We was up in Bristol doing an investigation. I can't actually remember where it was.
Warmly Clock Tower.
Warmly Clock Tower. Awesome investigation. Very, very good. Enjoyed myself.
Yeah,
it was nice to go there. It was nice to go and sort of experience investigating with other teams because it's the first time I've ever done it. I don't know if you clocked the picture where we had like the group picture at the beginning.
No, I've not seen it.
I actually look like a chav. I'm not gonna lie.
I know I scared the hell out of a lot of people that night.
You did, yeah, you did. Everyone was like really worried about you when we was up in the classroom.
You went rather tired and stuff like that. Yeah.
But I will say, right, and this is probably going to be really controversial, but the jury is still out for me on the whole necrophonics.
Sometimes it has its uses, sometimes it doesn't.
Don't get me wrong, like, I'm not saying it doesn't work. This is not me sitting here going, necrophonics doesn't work. It just picks up random things and so on and so forth. There's a lot of background noise, and it's hard to sort of determine like what's being said. You don't know whether it's picking up anything. Do you know what I mean? But I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm not saying it does work. It's just the jury's out. I
I
experienced.
love it saying things like when it's saying Ben's name and then it's saying Ben and then Lou. Like those things, like when you can hear them quite clear like that, that was a bit weird.
We've had some.
Yeah.
That's happened a few times.
Yeah, quite a few locations we've been called out.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
When we was doing a show, when we did an evening with Barry from Help My House is Haunted, and was in Hellfire Cave. Hellfire I've not been to in ages.
The mother's down there.
Yeah, he wasn't. He was impressed, but he was slightly worried when the box called us out and went, "Don't do anything." And there was a full blown conversation going on. He was kind of like, "Okay, is this happened to you a lot?" And we turned around and went, "Yeah, you'd be surprised."
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm not saying it does work. I'm just saying, in my personal opinion, this is nothing against anybody that thinks that I'm bad mouthing necrophonics. I'm not. Any sort of app or equipment that you can use to gather intelligent responses, it's great. It's great for the field. It's great to be used, and it's great to gather evidence. I just believe, in my personal opinion, the jury's still out on it. But we did have things happen.
Yeah, it depends where you use it.
Depends what you get from it as well. Like, a lot of the time it is just a load of noise and like sounds, and you do get audio pareidolia. But then other times when you do get clear responses and they are relating to either questions asked or the location you're at, then it's like, could be something in it.
Yeah, it's the same as like if you're on an investigation and you're getting knocks. Yeah. And you try and sort of get an intelligence response from knocks. It does work sometimes. It doesn't work sometimes. It depends on the responses you're getting. The same thing with necrophonics. If you're asking,
trying different things, isn't it?
Yeah. As long as you're asking questions and you're getting relevant and intelligent responses, then it's working, you know. But I mean, it's that age-old theory that people talk about, you know, crossing over the new age with the old age. You know, are the spirits that you're contacting able to use this new age technology because they didn't have it in their time? There's always been a massive argument in the paranormal world about that.
As I've always said, rely on theory first.
Yeah,
always stick to theory first.
Of course. I mean, I when I first started investigating, I was completely out on the old devil's box. What's it called? The box that gives you words. What's it called? The ovulus.
Yes.
Yeah. When I went and bought one, I used it on a few investigations. The jury was out. I was like, I don't think it works. I think it just picks random names and random words. But then when we actually started to get to the point of using it and using it correctly within the right context, I was like, this thing's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah. It has to be in the right sort of area. Yeah, you do look like a chap.
Oh, yeah, I told you.
On the page later, guys.
Told you. I did say that.
Oh, you're covering too much of your t-shirt as well.
Hey?
You're covering, you put your arms folded, so you're covering like the new logo of the t-shirt that you got on.
I went for the I'm a gangster look. That's what it was.
We'll post it up later.
At a verse and Ambition Hall, we got some relevant responses. I'm not saying no relevant responses. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, I agree with Ben. It depends on the context in which it's being used. For instance, right, is a great example of it. You're not going to put a REM pod down in the corner of a dark room when you know you've got rats running around, because most of them are going to hit it and going to set it off. You know, or for instance, you're not gonna use the spirit box if you're in a lead-lined room, because you're not going to get any signal whatsoever. You know, it's that sort of thing.
If you got something then, then that would be impressive.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's one of the times, Joe. I'm going to crack it out, and if I get a response, then there is no reason that that's not paranormal.
Yeah.
Andy Linton saying it's great as background burst experience, but not as a main piece of kit.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's what annoys me when you go on investigation or you're watching people on investigation and they just run the whole investigation solely through staring at the phone at the app. They're just the whole time they've got a couple of cat balls around maybe, but they're just there standing there with the phone out, and that's the whole thing for the whole couple of hours. That
I'm
annoys
back.
me.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I had a my internet had a brain fart.
Didn't even notice this, mate. Honestly.
Just like you're listening really intently, like really quiet.
Oh. No, I'm the same. I've always, whenever people have asked my opinion when you talk about investigating and so on and so forth, I like Ben said, like Andy just said, the greatest background burst, but your main piece of kit is yourself.
Yeah.
The way that you feel, the way that you feel in a room, if you feel there's an entity there, or if you feel like there's someone around you, that's when you'll break out the kit. But you should always trust your own feelings first.
Yeah.
We've said it many a times on the show, like there's nothing better on investigation than the human body.
Yeah. Tell it's there.
Yeah. Verse saying thing with phones, you have a chance that their own signals could cause interference. That's true. That's true. And anybody out there that goes from that scientific background and looks at things from scientific background, you have to conduct experiments in a controlled environment. You know, you have to rule out all outside and atmospheric interference. And like Verse said, there is always a chance that the phone is sending its own sort of interference out because of what it does. You know.
I've got
Go
an old so I've got an old phone that before I transferred my SIM card out of it onto my new phone, I
Yeah.
downloaded a couple of apps onto that. So it's got no SIM card in, it's got no connection to the internet or anything, just to try and minimize any other interference that it could have to
That's the right idea.
It's taking out the variables
Yeah.
in an experiment, because that's what it's all about. When you do scientific experiments, it's about minimizing the variables. Annette said, I use one at home. I said, this is just rubbish coming out with no relevance whatsoever. So tell me the name of the only person in the house besides me, and I believe it, and it did. So yeah, yes, it depends on where you use it. Big shouts out to Zira saying, just popping in to say hey to everyone. I wish you all well. One is out on the lash with the family from Southend. Oh, I'm in Southend. That's cool. Small world, small world. But yeah, we've said it many a times on the show. You use your own intuition. Your own intuition is probably the best bit of equipment you can do when you're on an investigation. And that's when you do all your little, you crack out your Necrophonics, your SP7s, and so on and so forth. I mean, one of the interesting parts of the night when we was on the investigation was the human pendulum experiment that we done. Yeah, see, once again, the theory's out for me on that one. I don't think it works. You have the whole thing of involuntary muscle movements, not being able to control your balance because your eyes are closed, and so on and so forth. But there were some intelligence and relevant responses coming out when we was doing it. So is it one of the, where did it work, or was it somebody?
I mean, Zera's in the comments at the moment. I don't know if she's still on or she's gone now, but if she's still there, just pop on a quick comment of how you felt being the human pendulum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, was that? Oh, okay, right, okay. I'll put two and two together now. Well done. Verse saying you kind of have to be a skeptic in order to investigate properly. Treat it as science, it's theory until proven otherwise. True.
That's
True.
how I've always done.
But that doesn't go for paranormal investigations. That goes even down to this show. When me and Ben and Lou do this show, we will throw out theories and then we'll discuss them, and then if we come to the conclusion that they can be, like the whole things when we done like the sky horns. Remember we done the show on the sky horns?
Yeah.
And then we was chucking out theories, and I finished the show, and then Ben messaged me over like, check this out, and I was checking out this website, and it turns out that it was all to do with the harp thing and that. It was actually, it made more sense once we'd sort of gone over the theories and then sort of come to a conclusion.
Going back to the investigation at Warnley,
Yeah.
you want to tell us about like when we split up into the groups and when you went off, what experiments did you do and what results did you get?
Well, I went and spent about 10 minutes up the top of the clock tower, and then weighing at 213 pounds, didn't feel safe and come down. Because I did not feel safe up there. I was like, if this goes through, it's gonna hurt. But yeah, we had some weird stuff happening. We were sort of investigating on the third and fourth floor, quite up high, and then sort of we'd come down to the bottom room and we'd have things happen and it'll go flat, and then I'd move up to the top room and then things would happen, it will go flat. But I think one of the craziest things we had happen was they had a static meter, and we was using a static meter to measure the environmental static, and it seemed to always go off in the same place. And the other thing that was quite interesting was the team that were there before had set up these trigger objects. They had a paper clip in like baby powder, and then two doorknobs that had been drawn around. And when I went out there and we looked, you could see the paper clip had been like pushed across the baby powder, and the doorknob had actually moved only a tiny bit though. I think I've got photos of them on my phone actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are the two main things that happen. I mean, when we were actually split up and we was doing the experiments, we were
He's frozen?
No, frozen, or was it?
Well, he froze before, didn't he?
Did I disappear again?
Yeah.
As I was saying, the main things that sort of stuck out to me was the fact that where we were moving to, the energies were moving away from us. So it's like they didn't want to be disrupted. They didn't want to be disturbed. So
I know you've said before that you've like done some mediumship.
yeah,
Did you get anything through, or were you not relying on that this time, or
I
what
was
were you...
I was semi-open. I wasn't fully open. I was semi-open because I didn't want to sort of like they had their in-house medium, and I didn't want to take over because I'm not that sort of person. I don't like doing all that sort of thing. But I did pick up a few things. I tell you the craziest part, I picked up on the letter V, and before everyone turned up, you guys were at food. We was looking around. There's like a church pew in the room,
Yeah.
and then carved into the back of the church was like loads of letter V's, which was quite weird. And the lavender, that was another thing before everyone turned up. Me and my partner kept smelling lavender. And it was really, really strong at one point on the top of the stairs. And then it moved up further, and then it moved into the room. And then when everyone turned up, didn't smell it again.
Did you
was
pick
really-
up at all like who it was from, the type of like spirit or anything?
I didn't. I was definitely a woman, but that's all I picked up. But the craziest part about it, we spent about 20 minutes rather than turn up trying to look for plugins or like scented candles. And there was
Yeah,
none.
there's
There
a
was
few
none.
incense sticks like left lying around we saw as well when we were walking around. So
Yeah, but we was picking them up and smelling them, and none of them smelled the same.
yeah,
And it was one of those situations where I did get a bit goosebumpy, and it was like, oh, okay, this is a little
yeah.
bit.
We thought it was like a pack of been left in the kitchen. A pack of, I think it was like grapefruit, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Grapefruit, not lavender.
There's no lavender in there.
No, it's just like grapefruit incense.
It was a very, very strange experience. I mean, the cocktail wasn't massive. You know, I mean, you guys like me have been on investigations where you've investigated like these humongous buildings that one team could be one end, the other team the other end, and you couldn't hear a thing. But I mean, when we were doing the experiments, we were picking things up. It was like, it was almost as if the spirits were sort of anxious to talk. I don't know if you got that when you guys were there. You'd get little bits of information, and then they would disappear, and they'd move somewhere else. I felt like we were mainly chasing them most of the night.
It was a bit of a game of like cat and mouse, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I don't know when we was doing the seance and the human pendulum, I did see everyone kept commenting about shadows in the hallway. I did see a few shadows moving out in the hallway. But I mean, apart from that, I like the way the investigation was very science-based, more science-based, but they did have the medium there to bring in the traditional as well. I think that worked really well. But they had a ton of equipment, a ton of equipment. So
Because
if
it's was open to the public though, and the public like to get involved. They like to actually be able to see like
yeah,
something
yeah,
physical, some
Yeah,
physical
that's
evidence
good.
of something happening. And when you've got the equipment there that like makes sounds and flashes and things, it's like there's possibility that there is something there setting it off, rather than just relying on say someone to say, oh yeah, I'm getting this or that.
yeah,
Like bringing the two together.
yeah. And Joe, the other bit that sort of made puzzle me when we was up in the art room and we was doing the sort of like the Etsy's method where they had headphones on. And I think I can't remember her name, but the lady was walking out the hallway, and you could hear on the headphones that it was going beep 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 beep. And then she'd come in, and you get the sound of the FM frequency going round.
Yeah.
But then after I think about 10, 15 minutes, she went back out there to try again, and it didn't happen. I found that really strange. I did find that really, really strange because I in all my years investigating, I've never had an SB7 or an SB11 do anything like that.
Yeah, that was strange. That was.
That was very, very strange.
Yeah.
But when we walked into the art room and there was a big picture of Jesus at the back, I thought, oh, here we go.
Really good painting as well.
Yeah, I love the way
You
he
can
stuck
put prices on those paintings.
and they put Ben right under the paint of Jesus. It was great. But all in all, like, it was a very good investigation. I like the approach. I like the way they've done things. It was more, I suppose, it was more believable because they use the scientific equipment rather than you have teams that will go out and they'll solely rely on the medium to deliver information, and then the medium will do the calling out, and the medium will do the experiments. And it wasn't like that. It was more.
No, it's good to get everyone involved, like all the
Yeah.
members of like the public who were there, they could get involved in it and yeah, feel a part of it rather than just being sort of like sat there and watching.
Yeah. I mean, it was because they sort of relied on the science first and then used the mediumship to back it up, which was good. But all in all, yeah, it wasn't the most active place I've been to, but it was very interesting investigation at the end of the day. I did enjoy it. It was nice. The ceiling was so low in that room; it was crazy. It actually made me feel sick. It was so low. It was touching the top of my top knot. So
That's because the original ceiling above that burnt through when there was a fire.
oh, okay. Yeah, but didn't the
small suspended ceiling above?
I can't remember his name. What was the name of the medium that was there?
Mark.
Oh,
Yeah, he picked up on a fire when we was in the room. He picked up on but it wasn't like one of them fires that were epic. It was like he said it was like almost like a kitchen fire that sort of spread.
yeah.
So
burnt the floor down, killing someone in the process.
yeah, good investigation. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was really good. It was really good.
What about your lady friend? Did she enjoy herself?
Yeah. She had fun. Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Was that her first one? Has she been on others?
I think that's the first investigation she's ever been on. So it's a bit of experience, but we're thinking about going on some more. Definitely. I mean, I've got Halloween booked off. I think we're going to like a Friday night thing, aren't we? Sort of thing. Yeah. So, and I'm going to see the new Exorcist tomorrow night. So I'll let everybody know how good it is, or if it's really pants. From what I've read online, it's not very good. But it's one of them things where I've seen the original. I want to watch the new one, whether it's rubbish or not. I need to watch
You've
it.
got to compare, haven't you?
Yeah, of course. You got to make the comparison. Anyone else seen it? Please don't do any spoilers, because I'm looking forward to going to watch it. So
we are as well going to be reviewing talks at Stoke Museum as well soon. We've got to sit down with Craig and talk to him for that.
Talk about it.
Sounds cool. Sounds
Oh
good.
yeah, my daughter came up with a great idea, Evelyn.
What's that?
Because it's coming up to Halloween.
Yep.
She wants me to do a baking show.
Halloween bake, so like a
Make
Samhain.
spooky like cupcakes and things like that. She wants me to do it. I might try and like get her to come and help as well. So
Oh, you got to have a glorified helper if you're going to do a baking show.
yeah.
So
We'll see if that happens. I need to have a look at some simplest recipes that I can't mess up too much on a live.
let me know. I'll have to do like an old 80s sort of intro video where it's like baking with Blue. I think everyone will like that one. See, Ver's saying you got to do it. Ver's saying you got to do the bacon show.
Okay.
And then you could sort of like sprinkle in a bit of tradition and bring some Samhain traditions into it. Because obviously pumpkin's a Halloween thing in it, and it's also to do with the witchcraft and the celebration of Samhain as well. So, me personally, can't stand taste pumpkin. It's horrible. Not
Would you
gonna lie.
prefer a turnip?
No, I don't prefer anything. That's country food. I don't deal with country food.
Country food. You're gonna carve into a Big Mac.
Oh, 100%. Do little chips as the horns. Hang a bit of lettuce out for a tongue. Yeah, definitely, it'll work. It'll work.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, not next week. The week after will be the Halloween show.
Yeah.
So we can do something along the lines of Ben can do some more glory ways to die, and we can look at the Halloween tradition from a Wiccan point of view. Sort
So
of
I
right.
guess we'll see. We'll get in touch with the Scarlet Witch, see if she's going to be free to like pop on for a special.
Yeah, that would be quite cool. That would be quite cool. And I'll scour my Facebook to see if there's any other witches that want to pop on and help us sort of understand the traditions of Halloween within the Wiccan sort of point of view. So that'd be quite cool. I'm up for that. It'd be good. It'd be good. So, guys, don't forget as well. I know I said at the beginning of the show. I will say at the end of the show. All our new merchandise is up and live on Pentagraphics. Crazy, like quality. It's second to none. Second to none quality. Saying that though, the missus just got me some Viking t-shirts from a place in London called, what's it called?
House of Spells.
House of Spells. And they specialise. They've got like a Harry Potter bit, and then they've got like a Viking bit. So she went up there with little one to for her birthday, and she brought me back loads of Viking t-shirts. So I'm like, well done. So if you can't be yourself, just be a Viking. It's like, yeah, that's awesome.
Guys, don't forget Sunday's show. I'm
Yeah.
starting my Paradox series. I didn't start last Sunday because stuff went wrong.
Yeah.
On that note, I'd like to thank everyone that messaged me last week. It was appreciated. Sorry I went quiet, but news like that hurts. But yeah, we'll be starting this Sunday with the Paradox. First one is the Grandfather Paradox.
Oh, is this going to get really technical really fast?
Possibly.
Right, so when Ben says possibly, let me just explain to this. When Ben says possibly, that means definitely.
Get ready, people.
So that's live at 7:30 on Sunday. So
Yeah.
don't come.
This is the easiest paradox to go through. Put it this way, there's a special one as well. I'm going to bring up. Lou read it with me. I'm not going to bring it up now because I'll bring it up Friday, but I am going to tell you the name, and that is the potato paradox.
I think I've heard of this one. I'm not going to say, but I'm pretty sure I've heard of this one. I mean, because you've got the whole thing. The paradox is the things like the butterfly effect, isn't there, and stuff like that.
Well, for example, the grandfather paradox is you invent a time machine, go back and kill your granddad. Well,
Yeah.
that causes a paradox because then you have to keep doing.
Yeah, and then technically, if your granddad was killed before you was born, then you wouldn't.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be. Yeah. Oh, okay. Sort of makes sense. Almost like a Hogwarts time turner where you can't be seen. Yeah. For anyone that's wondering where I got it from, I am actually. I've started listening to the books all over again because they're read by Stephen Fry, and it's so awesome. And I've spent.
They start relating everything to Harry Potter. Now.
Yeah, I've spent nights this week on the phone to the missus complaining about stuff that they haven't put in the movies. And I'm really, really pissed off about. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, the books are quite, detailed and long, and the films they had to condense, didn't they? And
I would just preferred 14 Harry Potter films, and they just contained everything because they just missed out all the best parts. You got no Peeves. How can you not have Peeves? He's the best character by far. I'm not gonna get the whole Harry Potter thing because I'll be here forever.
The only thing not to do, there was a TV series or there's a series that I was like, I don't think you can find it nowadays because obviously Russia's not exactly the most liked. But there was 2 movies called Night Watch and Day Watch.
Right.
They condensed 12 books into 2 films.
Oh, I hate when they do things like that. I hate it when they do things like that. You read these books, you're in my case, because I'm special, I have them read to me. And you realise that there's a lot of stuff they've cut out is quite relevant. But yeah, it's I'm not going to go into whole thing. Ver's going on off on one now. She's like finding someone else who might understand the peeves. There's loads. The whole thing that you don't meet Ludo Bagman, and there's loads I can go across on that one. But I mean, we've
You will
spoken.
do a show at some point on Harry Potter.
Damon can do a show on Harry Potter.
I will happily do a whole show on Harry Potter. I am 100%.
We'll get Zara on the name.
Yeah.
All...
Talk about Harry Potter and how it sort of hits close to the mark with the occult anyway before. Because one of the books he gets out, and the whole Philosopher's Stone thing, and that sort of ties into the whole occult belief of philosophy and turning lead into gold and that sort of thing, doesn't it?
Well, the Philosopher's Stone was in the process of finding immortality.
Yeah. It's like the chalice in it and all that sort of thing. So, Verse saying, yes, Harry Potter show, but I want to be a part. Yeah, well, if we do a Harry Potter show, 100%. Because we will take
an open floor.
Yeah. We'll definitely do one though. 100%. We'll definitely do one. Anyone else got any ideas for any shows? Just hit us up on the chat or stick it on our page. And we will do our research and get into it. Once again, don't forget to check out Pentagraphics and don't forget to check out the Sunday show. Both will be linked up on our page. I'm guessing because it's obviously getting colder, Lou, you and Jeanette are not going out investigating tomorrow.
Oh, well, me and Ben are out anyway tomorrow. We're going to be at the Old Nick Theatre with Beyond the Veil Paranormal.
Cool.
So we'll be going live from there. Well, Jim will be going live from there, and I'll share it onto our page.
Brilliant. So there you go, guys. Your whole weekend sorted out. You've had us tonight. You've got investigation tomorrow night, and then you've got Ben's show on the Grandfather Paradox on Sunday. So that's going to be great. Verse saying, "Don't get me started. I could suggest a ton of shows. Do it. Throw them up there. We're open to suggestions. We've still got a few shows that we want to cover here on the Other Dimension, but obviously with things going on at the moment, we've sort of been slipping. But we will get back onto it soon. We will get back onto things properly soon. We'll start researching and so on and so forth, and actually getting into the shows properly like we used to. But at the moment, it's like Ben's got a lot of things going on. Lou's got some things going on. I've got things going on. So it's quite hard at the moment. But so I hope everyone understands and just bears with us on this one. I hope. So yeah, there we go. Tonight's show. Hope everyone enjoyed it. Friday the 13th. Make sure you're all lucky and stay lucky. I mean, have you guys ever had anything happen on Friday the 13th that makes you believe the superstition is true?
No, it's usually my birthday. I think everyone.
Yeah, your birthday is on.
My birthday is cursed.
I like the way he says that. He is the Other Dimension's cursed child.
Okay, my birthday. One of the worst things that happened on my birthday, and I don't know if you remember this. I know Tom would.
Yeah, I remember. You weren't here.
For one, I was at work.
Was it your 30th?
Yeah.
It was actually your 30th. Oh, wasn't it?
The second one was me and my boss used to work in a 7.5 ton lorry. The bearings on the left-hand wheel basically melted to the point where the wheel nearly fell off. Whilst we were going down the motorway with a sheer drop on the left-hand side near where I was. If the
lovely.
wind had gone, I would have gone down. The lorry would have gone down. I would have been the first person to hit the floor. But it gets better.
Right.
So from there, we had to stop. The lorry had to be taken to the nearest garage, which would just happen to be a bit further down the motorway, where it was a proper lorry garage.
Yeah.
So that's fine. The hotel was 2 miles away, across country.
Oh, lovely.
We get to the hotel. The pub is shut, so there's no food.
This is during the COVID years.
Yeah, this is during the COVID. We can't get anywhere near to the closest shops because we've got no form of transport. There's
Yeah.
no Wi-Fi. There's bugger all. And on top of that, the heating didn't work in the room or anything.
So you're stuck in the middle of nowhere, starving hungry, freezing cold without no form of transportation.
My birthday's in January.
Nice. Nice. I don't think I've ever had anything happen to me on my birthday or Friday the 13th. I don't think it's. I normally on Friday I have a bad day, but that's probably about it. So
My birthday every year, something bad has happened.
the cursed birthday man.
Yeah. I don't celebrate it anymore. I try to just ignore the day.
When you get to my age, you don't celebrate anyway. Don't worry about it. You normally end up at work. So, so guys, right, that's it from us here at the Other Dimension. Don't forget, once again, I can't suggest it enough. Go and check Pentagraphics out for the new merchandise. Don't forget to look at the page tomorrow night to see Ben and Lou live on Investigation. And do not forget to lock in on Sunday at 7:30 for Ben's first Grandfather Paradox show and the Paradox series.
Yep.
So, from us here at the studio, it's bye from me and bye from Ben and Lou.
Bye.
And always remember, guys, if there's no other explanation, there is always the other